Welcome to the game night book. Yay! Woo! We started on time. I got situated. That's pretty good. I got beverages. I did all the things. Today's topic is manufacturing games and game stuff in the United States. And there are a number of people who are successfully doing that, either publishing it or participating in the manufacturing process. Like Dearnicorn is both a publisher and a manufacturer. But I thought it would be interesting for the live to talk to an actual manufacturer who here has been dedicated to TikTok. Lovely ladies, you have worked really hard on getting to 1,000, and I wanted to celebrate your victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just so you know, of the 1 billion people on TikTok, or accounts on TikTok, you are now in the upper 50%, or upper 50,000, which is the 0.00005% of people on TikTok. Congratulations.
Wow.
I think I got that math right. So, yay! Uh-oh, that's my surprise reveal. I don't want to show what I got going on under my shirt. So, let us... This is Mike's shirt. If you saw that TikTok, that's definitely a thing. So, start with introducing yourselves to people who might not know you. And let's talk a little bit about your journey to making game or game stuff here in the United States.
Okay. So this is Cinda. She is about 5'8", and my business partner. And she's fantastic. And she's much older than I am.
Aw.
That's their favorite thing to point out about me. That and I'm Italian. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So.
You guys, you're doing great, but just keep it up.
So this is Marcia. She is my amazing business partner. I have the highest respect for her. She has another business which helped launch the Game Night book. She has the Superior Register, and we would not be where we are today without that business. And I just have always respected that she started her own business. So. Yeah,
so sweet. She has her own business too outside of this.
Yeah.
We are both business people.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. So, on one's journey to being a manufacturer or do anything game related, there are very few people who are born into games and gaming. They usually have a lot of stops along the way. Of one of the few people that I know who fit that category of people who were born into gaming is Jeff Tidball, who actually interned at Atlas Games and then ended up running it. And so at a very young age. Marcia, you have a printing business where you do what is it? You call that check receipts? What do you call that?
The check register.
Where is it? Show it to me.
Oh, do I have one?
I thought you bring one.
Oh well, I have register because in the 90s the debit card was introduced and the check registers that came with a box of checks became irrelevant. So I fixed that problem, and that's what I do for a living now. But because I have everything here, we do the print shop here, we do the binding here, we have shrink wrap machine, we've got everything going on here. So when we talked about, creating this book, I insisted that we had to do spiral binding because that's what I already do. And, I was able to bring a lot of knowledge into the creation of this book.
That is amazing. There you go. That's the new version of the Game Night book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you like Siamese twin together, girls. You have to crowd in together, get closer into the camera so we can hear you better. And there's a lot of hugging for justice. All right. So I use my Game Night book. I know this is supposed to be a doodle book, but I use this for notes in RPGs. And I also might encourage you to do a logbook for playtesting because that is how I use my other one. So like we register playtest times, results, user feedbacks, win-loss. And these are things that you would end up writing down, especially at a convention that you might not need. Yeah. And I know there are a lot of people like the Mondos and so forth and whatnot. But yes. So if you are interested in making games in the United States, there's a lot of equipment out there. What folks didn't realize that printing was huge in the United States up until about 2003. That was the heyday of sort of printing. And do you two remember what we were printing in the most in 2003?
I don't think I was alive.
You were alive in 2003. Come on now. Come on. You were like 5.
Tax documents.
Close. It was stuff for credit card like applications. The runaway credit industry that we had that led up to the 2008 bubble bursting, like unlimited money and so forth and whatnot, actually drove the print industry in the United States. And people kept on looking for faster, better machines. Guess where their machines went when they were no longer useful for a United States audience?
I don't know.
They're multi-million-dollar machines, so you don't just throw them away. And some of them were on lease. Well, all of them ended up overseas in one shape or form. So all of the machines that you may see like printing various things in China, probably especially in certain areas, probably started here. At the beginning of their life, and they might be 20 plus years old. So that is a thing to think about when you think about how do you make games in the United States? Okay. What kind of equipment do people need right now? And the number one equipment that people end up needing to manufacturing games in the United States is
a print shop.
A print shop. So if you have a print shop, you can make games. If you know a printer, they can make games for you. So I know in particular, people have a hard time with what do you think is the number one thing that oh, yeah, everybody. I should actually be looking at the notes. What do you think everybody has the hardest time with as far as if they're going to make something in the United States? If they're able to do it. And we'll talk about the in list and the out list. But as far as if you're making something in the United States, what is the most difficult thing to make?
The manufacturers knowing where to look, I think would be the hardest thing, because they're here, they're out there, but you don't know what you're looking for. You know, what words you need to search on Google or in the yellow pages, you know. Yeah, I mean, it took me until I was getting 100,000 copies at a time before I was like, I might want to stop doing this at Office Depot. Like,
right. I might want to start I want to start getting your whole print shop ready. You had mentioned that you might be interested in sharing a print tour. Would you do that on the live today, or are you not comfortable for it?
You want to do it now or later?
Let's do it now. I think that's fun. And we'll talk about the machines, and we'll talk about what is in a print shop. Woo! Of course, there are lovely, talented staff in a print shop.
Over here, whoops, almost tripped. Over here, our large printer, and anything that has a computer on it, Marcia programs and puts it all together, because I don't.
Well, mostly Zach does.
This is Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach. So talk to us about your printer. What are some of its features?
Marcia's going to share that.
Okay, well, the print features is, I don't know. Zach, what does the printer do? This is actually a monochrome printer, so it just says black and white.
That's an important word, everybody. Understanding the words of printing is one of the things that you will need to understand if you want to print in the United States. So a monochrome printer means it can print any one color. Normally that's black, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Now, you can add to your monochrome printer what's called a spot color, which would then be like 2 colors, and it's an exact color match. Now, you would have to also bring custom ink. So this ends up being cost effective if you've got an enormous print run, but that typically is only viable for something that's like the advertisement mail, or if you have a really large run of your game or your individual cards. All right, so it's a monochrome printer. What is the largest size your monochrome printer does?
12 by 18 is the largest this one does, because that's what we need.
Okay.
One's out there that out, but we just take that and then we cut it over here on the cutter down to
Yes. Before we move on to the cutter, let's talk about 12 by 18. Understanding the press sheet size, if you're going to manufacture, is really important, because your margins might be very, very small if you're printing in the United States, and you need to make sure whatever you're making inside that printer is optimized for how many you can set up to that individual sheet size. For example, 50.
Need to use a larger size than what we've got.
Right. Sometimes you might. So, for example, like a sheet fed press that does cards in the United States typically does some multiple of 54 playing cards in the standard US size. So that's an example. It is optimized for that size in the United States. Also, since these machines then went overseas, when you are thinking about how many cards you can have in a game of a standard size, think about multiples of 54, because it will help optimize your price for components. All right, now we're on to the cutter.
That was really great info.
That was really
because depending on what it is, they have to paginate it and turn everything this way and that way, and if you bleed, they do that. It's
a show off with all her big words. She was a spelling bee champion. She'll be happy to tell you.
I was a spelling bee champion.
So this is when we first got there. I was so afraid I was going to so easy to do.
You have to hold the camera closer so I can hear her. If it's too far away, the mic will cut out.
So the cutter is like one of my favorite things to use, but I was super afraid of it, is what I was saying. But I just love to just stand here and just cut paper and cut paper and cut paper. So that's our paper cutter. And then
we come over to this.
Oh, wait a second. I want to contextualize it for something like this. Okay. So the doodle book is how many pages up and how many times do you cut those pages?
You know what? Okay, hang on. Let me address this. So the doodle book in your hand is actually reclaimed paper. Yeah. So when I used to purchase my paper before we got the printer, the sets of paper would come with a blue slip between them, and I save that. I don't throw anything away. I really
throws nothing away.
So that is reclaimed paper, and it came as 8.5 by 5. I only had to cut once to get the size that it's at.
That's amazing. I love this. Atlas also saved something like 3 years worth of boxes. And the reason they saved all these cardboard boxes is when they had enough of them, they ended up getting the machine that turns cardboard boxes into packing.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, like packing materials, like ecologically not awesome. And number two, it's expensive. And so they had pallets and they had unlimited space where they were. So if you can have unlimited space to get things done, then that's also, Jasper wanted to talk about your earlier comment. He actually has a list of manufacturers that he would be willing to share. So if people are interested in that, Jasper, if you wanted to link that to your blog or in your bio so people could address that, I would definitely send people your way as well. That's amazing information. So you save pieces of paper because you must have had a lot of like room to do that with, because why throw it away? And then you turned it into this awesome little thing. I love these books. These books are the perfect size for me.
On these ones, the coils are actually reclaimed from coils that we tried to make my other product with, and for whatever reason the coils got too short. So I would not throw those away either. So they're all reclaimed. Well, yeah.
So another lesson for manufacturing in the United States is, if at all possible, save and reuse the stuff that you can. Like materials are a premium, like getting anything from point A to point B. If you have the space is also a premium. Like Jasper lives in New York. He would never be able to do this. I live in Minneapolis proper, but Atlas is up in Duluth in like one of their little like side towns, and they have unlimited space. Like an enormous amount of space. Thus they have all those metal, like, I don't know what you call those massive shelving units, but they go all the way up like 40 feet up, and they're made out of like reinforced steel and all those kinds of things. So yeah, they had unlimited space to make it happen. All right. So, what size paper does your cutter accept?
19-inch.
19-inch. Okay. Does it have to be 19-inch sheets, or could it be rolls?
Sheets. Yeah. Sheets, because you've got to jog it in there to get everything nice. Now, unless you're talking about the plotter cutter that I use to make those stickers for you, because that's
yeah. So understand when making stuff, like how the materials come. And since we're talking about paper comes in two forms generally, which is sheet and roll. Roll is more cost effective, but then you need, as part of your apparatus, some form of cutter as part of it, right? So, yes, and you can make roll printers go faster. Now, generally, U.S. printers make things cost effective by having less machines. How do they use less machines?
I'm curious, because I've toured many print shops, because I've changed print multiple times before we became our own. So I'd be curious, because they have a ton of equipment.
Okay, so they do. Now the deal with that is they schedule their presses for around the clock. So since a press is an enormous amount of time, if it does not need to be down, it needs to be working. Yeah. So this is how U.S. Printers make things happen. And the reason that I mention this is, if printers have downtime, they sometimes, U.S. printers, will give you deals so that it keeps on being cost effective for them.
Okay.
So they're basically, you're doing this deal. We don't need as much of margin because we have so much downtime on our press. It's scheduled in such a way. And that's sort of an old school. That is another thing to know. It is also a reason to have a good relationship with printers on the long term. So they can call you if you have a sales rep and say, hey, we've got this going on. We're going to have this deal, so forth and whatnot. And if you could take advantage of that, that's great. Normally you can't in a game industry because it's so regimented, but sometimes you can.
Right. And I don't know that happens a lot these days, because, the past maybe 3 or 4 years, even pre-COVID, I've been bumping up against, short-staffed print shops. Yeah. So where they don't have staff to do.
All right. So we go from the monochrome printer to the cutter. And then where do we go next?
Okay. So next
we go over to the jogger.
Yes, there's a jogger.
We have a jogger. So we did always jogger paper, push button, and it just kind of brings it all so it's nice and firm. And then we bring it over to this machine. We've got
the jogger stacks it for you?
Well,
it just
so you know how when you take paper and it's like all messed up? So you take that, put it in here, and then it kind of brings it down. So
you always have it lined up and have nice edges.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah,
I did not realize you taught me something that's called the jogger. I did not know.
Yep. Okay, so then we come over to this machine, which is super cool. We load up our tabs, our 2 sets of tabs, because we have house rules and those tabs, and then our regular tabs, and then our paper goes down here. Then we start the machine. Marcia does her little magic with the programming. Then we start the machine, and it separates everything out for us and punches the holes in it. And then it comes. Huh?
It collates.
It collates.
Yes.
And then I was like, and then it comes out as like a whole book. And then when it comes out at the bottom of the machine, it's always offset. So when we're putting the books together, we can just grab our bundle and do what we need to do.
So your collator, yes. Yeah, collator is a very important thing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to punch holes where it's supposed to punch holes at.
So how many do you print at a time? And then how fast does it collate?
So we usually, we just mostly work on the weekends. We print between 100 and 200 books at a time, and then get them ready, cut. The machine isn't as fast as I'd like, but it will collate about 20 an hour or so.
That's great.
Or?
I mean, we had a day the other day where there was a lot of missed punches on it. And so it was just like, it's
a temperamental sometimes, but
it just made up where we wanted punches for. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
you guys have a collator. That's amazing. Yeah. That you're ahead of the game. What is after it's collated? I assume it's bound. You're going to your binder next. Am I right?
Okay.
Yes. Well,
yes.
Okay. The warehouse is a bit of. We're reorganizing. Sorry. So Cinda almost died. Okay. So
Cinda, don't die.
So when we get our covers do not come punched. So we bring it over to this machine and we put them in here and then we punch the holes in our covers because those do not go through the collator. So
are they too thick for your collator?
Yes, the collator can handle up to 15 point and the covers we use are 16.
That's amazing. Okay. Different equipment is rated for different types of paper. And we talked about how it was sheet or roll, but it also has a weight. And so it is by X number of pounds. What's the other way you can buy paper? I forgot what's the... Yeah. Yes. You can do GSM or you can do by pound weight. Okay. And so if you look at my Game Night Doodle book, this cover is thicker. And what pound is the cover?
16.
It's 16. And then the paper itself is?
It's 16 point. Not
16 point. Yeah. 16 point. And then the paper is?
I think 24. But I don't pay for that paper. So
your guess.
Sometimes when I was doing it, I found some thicker that I go through.
Yeah, it's reclaimed. We're saving the earth. We're going to let this.
The paper we use in the Game Night book is 24-pound paper, and it's
all consistent.
50% recycled material. And the coils are 100% post-consumer recycled plastic made in Idaho.
Nice.
Yeah. So next day.
Yeah. The one thing that I will suggest as we talk about more manufacturing in the United States later on in our deal, we're going to talk about manufacturing plastic and perfect plastic. I think that's the type of plastic recycling we're talking about. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's go on. So GSM point, weight, and pounds, which is that. Thank you, Jasper, for being awesome. Sorry, old guy flubbed number of informational bits like Cinda's name and other things like that.
Put calipers on that, and your calipers will read 0.016 or whatever, or 0.00. Okay. So that's what the point system is, and the pound is like how much is in 5 reams or whatever.
Yes.
How much 5 reams weighs. Yeah. And then the GSM, I don't know where they get that number, but some printers really like that number.
Yeah. Those are the 3 ways to make that stuff happen. Okay. So you have a perforator for the covers if you need it, right?
Yeah. But okay. Yeah. That's over here. We're right here by the coil machine. So I'm just going to jump ahead to the coil machine, which is.
Okay. Let's do it.
Right by it.
We're not in a hurry, Cinda. We're not in a hurry. We can go to the other area and we come back. So we're sequential.
Okay. Perforator. Yeah, this is really messy. I should have
they
thought about
should've
that.
It's fine. This is a live event we're experiencing.
Okay, so we're gonna switch so you can talk about.
We're gonna switch so I can talk about
she does all this.
The plotter cutter. This is the plotter cutter. This is what we use to cut stickers. So we print the stickers on an Epson printer that does a really great job. We had to try, I think, 10 or 20 different sticker papers to find one where the color would saturate great.
Yeah.
The stickers and one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this is the stickers that you made for us for our prototype that were fantastic. We've had a lot of success with them. They end up being so good, in fact, since we hand printed these with clear resin.
Oh, nice.
And then we use your sticker on it. This incurred a debate with my manufacturer. Normally I use Panda, with whether or not I should put stickers on the final version or if I should screen print them. What is the best look and feel? And so if anybody who watches this either now or whatever has a strong opinion about stickers, these are fantastic. And since we want them to be opaque on the back, when you print something like this, and you can print something like this in the United States, we'll get to this later. When you print something like this, you have to put 2 layers down, one to be opaque and white, and then what you're going to print over it, and then a 3rd layer to make it lacquer. So if I wanted to print on these versus your stickers, I could do that. And so, but for prototype reasons, you have given me enough stickers to hopefully hook up multiple copies of Princess for reviewers come reviewer time. If I can, I will follow Jasper's advice and get our manufacturers to make pre-prototypes of those as well. But between point A and point B, there's a lot of road to hoe for media people, and I need to get out ahead of these people way before I can actually have my final art done. That's sort of the nature of living in games as you are making them. And the reason that I bring this up is one of the main things to manufacture in the United States for time sensitivity and cost are your prototypes. Mm-hmm. The Game Night book is helping me with stickers and logbooks for Conquest Princess, but you can also get sort of short run versions from the Game Crafters, or you can get sort of middle tier that you manufacture in large from a place called Artiforge in the Twin Cities, and we use those for the boards that we are printing here. Those people used to be the prototype wing of Fantasy Flight Games. So that is how they were doing so much stuff. They bought their own gear. That's how they ended up in the manufacturing. And they had, but generally people have the stuff. If you have the stuff, why not use it for the purposes of good?
Those are great resources too, especially for prototyping and whatnot. But I've never heard of. The only one I've heard of is Game Crafters. So.
Yeah, no, Game Crafters is a great job. And there's one more thing in the Game Craft. We'll talk a little bit more points in and around. As you see, you've seen me on lives before in other media. Normally, I'm just an idiot. I mean, I talk about the love of games, and I'm just like, but I actually know a lot about printing.
Oh, yeah. Because it'll.
Okay.
You told me that. That was great advice.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk. Let's go back to the perforator and plotter.
People may not, you could do this with a Cricut, if you on a smaller scale.
You could.
So yeah, if you know somebody with a Cricut, that works great. Dedicated computer device, because this will only work. The software will only work on Windows 10. So Windows 11 will not work. Right? And then, so this is the cutter plotter. This will do vinyl paper. We just got done today working on tabs. We're having it cut all over tabs.
Nice.
100-pound cardstock. which we then collate on the collating machine. But yeah, it'll do pretty much anything. I think it's also got up to 12 by 18, or it can be roll fed.
Okay.
Stay in frame
That's
here.
sweet. All right. So we have our plotter, and that allows us to have unique shapes, our tabs, cuts, circles and stickers, sticker shapes. All those things are possible. Okay. All right. Where do we go to next?
Well,
Oh, we didn't coil it.
we passed the coil. Cinda loves the coil machine.
I do, because I've finally gotten it to the point where it coils for me. I had the worst time, the longest time. So this is our, whoops, hold on.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
This is
just,
so awkward.
I know. I'm just not good at this. So this is our coil machine. So I don't have a book to show you, but you take the book, you put the coil in it, and then this little machine
It's not on.
rolls the coil on for you. So you have like,
Yeah.
zoop, but once you get the hang of how to do it. So and
Your
then-
collator puts the edges on the individual pages, right?
No, this puts the coil on the whole book, like at the end. Am I
Right,
missing
right.
But where do the holes for the coil come from?
Collator
The
punches.
collator.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
this does the coil part.
Zoo.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Now, did you feed it wire or do you feed it coil?
It's just plastic coil.
It's just yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
just
Oh, I should know that. I have one right here.
This is the right, exactly. This is the low-tech version. I do have a high-tech version that inserts the coil and crimps both ends.
yeah, but it's
Nice.
not for me to use.
Right. We use it for the other business, and it's such a pain in the neck to change the size. So we have
Yeah.
coils inside.
Yeah.
We have to manually clip.
And it was a whole thing to learn. Like, she'd be like, "Is the red button up?" Because there's like a little. So she'd sit there and watch over my shoulder and yell at me if I wasn't doing it right.
That's a very specific management style you have there, Marcia.
And my employees, I think, love me. They like me not putting them on live videos, but yeah, we do a QC before we crimp it. We QC them, and we put a little sticker in the back pocket to make sure they've been QC'd.
Which are like giant, the game night book stickers that are inside the book. Marcia made them bigger, so those are like a single one in the back. So we know that our QC is done.
His was just one of our 3 crazy. Hey, we're gonna go back in the office.
Are we now? Is it time for the shrink wrapper?
Oh no, should we? Well, we
Oh.
don't shrink wrap the game night book,
we don't.
but I'll show it to you anyway. I think the kids are working on it. Are you guys Oh, they're hiding. Oh, the kids are hiding out from the shrink wrapper.
That's good.
This is Zach.
Look at it's new media. Look at this thing. All right, but a shrink wrapper is important. Like
Wrapper. Now we get. This is important too. We get this from New Jersey. The shrink wrap. It is called Biolefen. Let's see, Biolefen, and it is biodegradable, 100% biodegradable shrink wrap film, and it costs 3 times as much as regular shrink wrap film. But it's important.
it's not killing any turtles.
I hope not. Yes.
Yeah, or less turtles. It's killing significantly less turtles, which is that's amazing.
We have this backup shrink wrapper that we use, like because it only takes a few minutes to warm up, so we can use it if we just have to shrink wrap one.
This is important also understand. If you're ever interested in getting to the manufacturing business and manufacturing stuff for games in the United States, you will have multiple equipment that are essential, and you will have backup stuff because sometimes things fail. Sometimes you have to wait. Now, let us take you back to now that we thank you for the wonderful tour.